Hey guys, Dave Kimbrough here with Kimbrough Team Remax 4000. It is January the 9th. A little bit late this month because of the holidays and the way they fell, but we've got market statistics. Before we get into that, I hope you have an amazing holiday season. I hope your Christmas was amazing. I hope your New Year's was safe and also very fun. Had a time to spend with friends and family. I know we did at the Kimbrough house. It was pretty quiet, but that's exactly the way I like it. The duck hunting was very poor, but that is very much a first world problem, and this too shall pass. But before we look into 2026, we're going to take a look back at 2025. And just below this, there's a quick link to market stats. If you want to dig a little deeper, a lot of good information in here. We are revamping some of our market stats to make them more market relevant and area specific. So if you do dive into there on a regular basis, you may see some changes, and hopefully those changes are going to be helpful. So comparing 2025 to 2024, number of sales were up 4%. 101 more sales in 2025 than we had in 2024. Put that in perspective. That means approximately 8 units per month sold, more sold in 2025, which is not very many. Median price, we still saw some home appreciation. So median price was up 2% in 2025 versus 2024. So that's better than going down, but that's relatively flat. So really what you probably have is some areas and some specific products going up a little bit better, some's going down, but really a pretty flat market from a pricing perspective. Days on market, I was surprised by this. It was up only 6% or 5.5 days. Current average time on market is 85 days. Sitting in this saddle, it felt like it was more than that. So I was a little bit surprised because 85 days, that's still right a little bit better than what it was pre-COVID. And I'm going back 5 years to 2019. So a very similar year, 2025, as compared to 2024. When we take a look at month over month, only one stat. It was a very flat month as compared to year over year for the most part. But one stat was noted of significance. Inventory dropped from 100 units. So we went from 706 units that were actively for sale in November to 605 units. So we dropped 100 units, 101 to be exact, from November to December. That's pretty typical for the time of year. People get tired who haven't sold their home. They get tired, they pull it off the market, and they're going to, spring brings hope eternal. So we'll start to see over the next coming 2 or 3 months a lot of inventory reemerge on the market as people look to sell during the spring and summer season. So rates, they're still hovering in the low sixes, 6 to 6.125. Seems to be about where they are right now, and I expect that's going to remain fairly stable. A lot of the prediction markets say that we're going to see rates hover around 6% throughout 2026. One of the things that was interesting, I read an article this morning that I did not know. There's a lot I don't know, as I'm sure many of you know, but 40% of US homeowners are mortgage free on their homes. That is an all time high and is up 8% from just like 10 years ago. So it is a huge shift in who owns their home outright. There's a large portion of the United States, people who are homeowners that own their home outright. And cash sales of people who do buy and sell is one of the largest percentages in history. And because I think there's so much built-in equity. The point of that is a lot of people don't care. 40% of America, I mean, they don't have a loan on their home. They may care how that impacts down the road their car purchases or other purchases that they finance, but they don't care about interest rates so much as the fact that they don't have one, so they're not really worried about it. Which brings into another thing of focus. I hear it all the time, and maybe you have heard it also, or have even said it, and that is that the next housing crisis is coming. I read the fear tactics online all the time. And really, when you've got 40% of your population who owns homes, own them outright, you do not have an over leveraged population. The only way you get into an absolute financial crisis is when you have a lot of over leveraged people, which is what we had back in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not the same case. People are working to pay off their mortgages. So if you are looking for an opportunity if you're waiting to buy, waiting on the bottom to fall out, I don't think it's very likely. There are no harbingers there that would tell us that the market is fixing to have a fixin'. My mom says fixin'. Sorry, we are going to have a big correction in the housing market. So, a story for 2026. What do I expect? I expect much of the same. I think we're going to have. I think it's very possible we have several, or at least a couple of more years of steadiness, like what we saw in 2024 and 2025. I expect 2026 to look very similar. I don't think prices are going to go up significantly. I also don't think they're going to drop significantly. I think we could see them drop a little bit, but I don't see anything that's going to move the needle on a national perspective. There may be some pockets and areas, but for the most part, I think we're going to have a very steady, very similar housing market to what we had in 2025. So, we appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting us do what we do. Without you, we couldn't. If you have any questions or you need anything, please don't hesitate to give us a call, 970-263-7355, or just info@thekimbroteam.com. We're here to take care of you, your friends, your family, just as we would our own friends and family. So appreciate you. Until next month, which is in February. And guys, just know Valentine's Day, middle of February, this is a long heads up. I'll give you another reminder next month. But don't forget, Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Thanks, and have an amazing January.